So, if you guys don't know, American Horror Story has created a new series, and it's an anthology series that they are now showing on Hulu. So far, they've already released episodes 1 and 2. I've only watched part one of it's a two-part episode. So part one is episode one, part two is episode two. Now, American Horror Story is a long time series that has different themes for each and every series. And in this particular one, they're going to be doing different stories every episode or every two episodes. Because, like I said, this one is a two-part episode. In this episode, a teenage girl moves with her two dads to a grim house with a grim history. Now, in this first episode in the new anthology, they are actually going to be living in the murder house. And that's the house from episode one for anyone that is an avid fan of American Horror Story. We all know about Murder House, okay? There's also a lot of dealings with the rubber suit that we see in and out of different American Horror Story series. Now, this first episode was really good. So anyone that enjoys American Horror Story is really going to enjoy this the first of the two-part episodes for the new series. And I highly suggest anyone that likes the American Horror Story series to watch this because it did not disappoint at all. I would definitely recommend it to other people who are not familiar with American Horror Story and to people who are familiar with American Horror Story. Okay, now the main character in this particular episode is a high schooler named Scarlett. She has some dark, deep rooted issues that her two dads are trying to help her work through. And by the end of the episode, she definitely has worked through her issues. It just leads her down a path that I think neither her nor her dads expected her to end up. However, it is very interesting the take that they have on this episode because I feel like it highlights a part of society that is not acceptable, but we all know it exists. And it's something that we all would rather not have to deal with as far as like being related to someone that's doing these things, or as far as having a friend that's doing these things, or just being in a private enclosed space with someone that has this type of personality. Now, Scarlett's really pretty. She has this really bright red hair, and her dads are just enthusiastic about being in the murder house and renovating the murder house. And as the story goes on, we are going to see how Scarlett's personality starts to unfold throughout the show and how she kind of comes into who she really is supposed to be. And hey, I mean, I guess we can all be what we want to be, but I don't know if we want to be what Scarlett ends up being in this episode. So, again, for anyone who is an American Horror Story fan, this is a series that you are going to want to watch. So, from out of the two episodes, I've only seen one. I'm going to be watching the second episode tonight. And it's a two-part episode. And honestly, I don't know what else they could add on to this story. I mean, I feel like I do, but we'll see. But so far, so good. Thumbs up, American Horror Story. And I look forward to seeing more of the series. So good job, guys. And I will be returning later on with my Love After Lockup review. So I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all.